David, it's great to see you here today. Can you just please give me an overview of the TCM Group?
The TCM Group was established in 2001. Prior to that, I set up and ran a large community mediation programme, providing mediation services for neighbour disputes in schools and also in prisons. In 2001, I was invited to set up a mediation scheme for an organisation in the East Midlands, and I saw firsthand the important role that mediation can play in addressing issues of bullying, harassment and conflict within the workplace. For the last 10 years, we've been helping organisations embed mediation into their culture, into their values, into their systems, into their processes. We train managers, leaders, HR professionals and others to have difficult conversations and to act as mediators in their own organisations. We also provide professional mediation services at a time where a company needs an external third party to help reach a resolution, often in very difficult situations. So TCM, Total Conflict Management.
Can you tell me exactly what is mediation and what's the sort of TCM's approach?
Mediation is it's a mindset. It's the way of thinking when we find ourselves in conflict or dispute. It's about having empathic, open, honest and frank exchanges with the people we're in conflict with. It's a framework or a process where a third-party mediator will bring the parties together to have that conversation, to find a way of resolving their disputes without needing to go through legal or formal processes. And mediation also is a set of skills, a competency, if you like, that managers and human resources professionals and others can use to help find constructive resolution and remedies to conflicts and disputes. So mediation, the process, is a third-party mediator who's been trained and qualified, will help the two parties, or more parties in some cases, come together and have an open and honest exchange. The mediator will meet the parties separately in the first instance to allow them to talk about their experiences, their needs, their goals, their perceptions, their hopes, their fears, their concerns, and slowly build confidence in those parties and prepare them to come together to meet one another at the joint mediation meeting. So the mediator will chair and facilitate the joint mediation meeting, helping the parties to talk, to listen to each other in a calm, in a safe, in a measured way. And slowly the mediator will help the parties find points of agreement and consensus, and the mediator will record those and help the parties to find a new way of working which is mutually acceptable to both parties, a win-win situation.
So David, that all sounds great, but some organisations would argue that they can resolve workplace disputes in-house and perhaps go through their own formal grievance process. What would you say to these organisations?
For a large number of the organisations that I'm working with, the grievance process unfortunately isn't helping to bring situations to a resolution. In fact, in many cases the opposite is true. It's pitching people against each other, it's polarising the dispute. It doesn't help to find the root cause of the dispute. The parties spend more time trying to prove that they're right and the other person's wrong than actually trying to find resolution to the conflict. So for those organisations where there is a grievance culture or a prevalence of grievances to resolve disputes, I'd be saying to those organisations, think about bringing mediation in and think about developing a resolution procedure as an alternative to your grievance procedure, where the focus is on resolution first, helping people to come together, have difficult conversations, perhaps use a mediator where the one is needed, to help parties nip issues in the bud, find an early resolution and create a strong and productive relationship between those two parties where each of the parties feels fully engaged in the resolution. They can identify the root cause of the conflict and they can actually add growth and wealth to those organisations. They can deliver productive and high-performing relationships at a business. And my view on grievance resolution and my experience of grievance processes is it actually diminishes the benefit of economic growth and competitive advantage for a great many organisations.
So, David, to wrap up then, where do you see the future of mediation?
I think mediation is becoming a mainstream activity here in the UK. I can see a need for a significant shift in the way that we handle conflicts and disputes here in the UK. I'm calling it the resolution revolution. And for me, organisations who are prepared to take their grievance procedures and modify them in such a way as they become a resolution procedure, where mediation is at the heart of that resolution procedure and therefore becomes at the heart of how we engage with each other during the tough times. That is the future for mediation. And for me, we're leading the way here in the UK. I think here at TCM we are leading the way in the UK. I think it's making a major and significant impact on a great number of organisations. It's an exciting time to be a mediator.
David, thank you.
You're welcome.